Warning, if you're not familiar with the Diamond Ross police custody video, it might be extremely disturbing or hard for some to watch. Viewer discretion is advised. I have used the video from the Dallas, Texas Police Department, which was edited by them. I did use snippets of the video, which I paused often to avoid any copyright infringements, but I will link the video in its entirety in the description box. Dallas, Texas, August 18th, 2018. It's heartbreaking, it's tragic, and the public wouldn't find out what happened for over a year. Why? What were they trying to hide? Why did it take 1 year to bring to light what really happened to Diamond? Diamond Ross was 35 years old. She was familiar by the police. She would be known for abusing a street drug. If you listen in one of the videos, the police officer says that she is on a drug called WET, W-E-T, WET. This was probably a drug that this woman probably had been battling for quite some time. So, in other words, she was, again, known to the Dallas Police Department for just that. On August 18th, Diamond and her boyfriend were involved in a domestic situation. She was also using PCP, WET, at the time of this incident. PCP, phencyclidine, also known on the streets as angel dust, supergrass, rocket fuel. It's a hallucinogen, and it also works as a stimulant and a painkiller. I'm going to show you a video of a woman who has taken PCP. You can hear a male voice amused by what he's seeing. I don't find it humorous at all.
She got out first to see if she, I thought he bumped her. And then she just climbed up on top of her car and fell off the other side and started doing and hollering and shit, so I called you guys. Okay. That's something going on. If I was her, I wouldn't take it again.
Bitch, that's why. What did it for me, Corey? What did it for me, Corey? What did it for me? Corey. Corey. Man, I didn't want to what?
Somebody higher than Bronson.
Oh, y'all be doing them Jamaicans. Corey. Corey, you gonna tell him? Corey, come on, baby. Be nice to you. Yeah, that bitch go.
What is she doing?
There she go. Come on. Come on, baby. Tell him. Tell him, Corey. Corey.
Good.
You don't know what to do it. Ooh. Corey. Corey. You know what you told him, baby? You know what you told him?
Hey, you can't be touching this shit. No, you can't get up on this like that. What the?
I intentionally added a second video of another black woman. I did it purposely because a lot of people think that certain drugs go to certain races, and I'm here to say, unfortunately, these drugs target any race of person that takes them. Horrible, horrible what's happening to this woman. I don't understand why someone would want to take a drug that would not only put you in an embarrassing situation, but a dangerous one. This woman in this video is gyrating, sexually overtone, and she's doing this all in the public. I mean, I wonder if people who are on this substance really know what they are doing. And I did show this video for a reason, because this is the drug that Diamond Ross was probably on, and this is maybe one of the symptoms that these addicts get when they're on this drug. But I would also like to state as well that there are probably different ways that these people act on the drug. I know that it's known as a hallucinogen once again, and you can kind of see in the video that I'm about to show you of Diamond that she was showing a lot of these characteristics about hallucinating.
You gotta sit up and act right.
On August 19th, 2018, the signs of a medical crisis were everywhere.
Stay at work.
More than 10 times, Ross can be heard shouting for water, complaining she couldn't breathe.
I can't breathe.
A responding officer is heard remarking that he knows who she is.
Every time we see her, she's always high on wet.
You clearly hear one of the responding officers say that she was on a substance called wet.
Water!
You allergic to any medication?
Water.
Water?
No.
Anything else? Okay. What city are you in right now?
Texas.
What city?
Texas.
Okay.
Dallas, Texas. Stand up. These cuffs hurt.
Hold on. Okay.
Water.
Put her back in.
Water. Got her. Stop in. Don't put her in the police car. Don't put her in the police
Watch
car.
your feet.
No. That's the problem now. I told
Her
you.
feet already up.
Come on.
Now, to my recollection, I guess the Dallas fire rescue officials, along with the police department, may have showed up around the same time. They claim that Diamond Ross was cleared. This is what the Dallas fire rescue officials did. They claim she was cleared. You could even hear the video of them saying that this woman is cleared. So she can now be arrested instead of going to any kind of healthcare facility on her issue. Now, there are a number of different situations going on at this time. There are male and female officers interacting with Diamond. The Texas Police Department, even in one of these videos, use a sensor on her lower half. I'm not really sure why, but they did. I actually seen another video where the video went straight through and she wasn't nude at any point that I can see, but they did have a sensor on her lower half. There was also a discussion while the video was being played. There also was a discussion that she should have been jailed to a closer facility, not the facility that Diamond would end up going to, which was 8 miles away. That's a city detention center. This was a discussion by another group of people that I was looking at some of their comments about what happened to Diamond. This is not a discussion that the Dallas, Texas police was actually having, but she again was taken to the city detention center. So Diamond is placed in the back of the police car. She is very stressed out. She's sitting up, she's sitting down. At one point, she goes over to the opposite side of the car and she's trying to get out. Now, this is all while the car is still sitting there, and you could hear police officers walking around the car and talking amongst themselves while Diamond is clearly in the car. You can tell she's also speaking to herself in second person. She's still asking for help. She's still saying she can't breathe. She's still asking for water. She is acting a bit erratic in the video, I must say, but you have to also understand she is on this PCP. She is on this mind altering and hallucinant. She is on it. So naturally she's not going to act like her normal self. You can see it in the video. She's not acting like a normal person. If you haven't been around somebody on PCP, we've been around drunk people, and they have different emotions. Some want to physically fight, some want to be more, I'm going to say, sexual, and some get into a depressed stage, and some actually exhibit all three. There were times when you probably exhibited all three when you were drinking, So we don't really know how she is. Only her family knows how she is, and they unfortunately wouldn't see this video until it was brought to the public. They thought that Diamond had actually passed away of an overdose. They didn't know what they would find out in the end, that she had been clearly neglected. also would like to say I'm not a big fan of the police department for my own reasons, but I would also like to say that I know that they do jeopardize their life daily to try to protect the community, and I do know that some police abuse their badge and their privileges. So I'm ordinary. I think I have mixed emotions like everybody else. But what I do know is that they did not take the time to seek medical attention from this woman, even though they was given the okay when they got to the building. She still needed it. No one really looked after her. They ignored her. I'm going to show you a small clip because they have arrived at the building and you can see him jerk Diamond very quickly, and then you'll see the rest of the footage.
Hey, wake up.
When the officers arrive with Diamond to the building, they pretty much throw her out on the concrete and they drag her inside of the building and they throw her into the cell. Diamond is brought inside the cell and thrown once again. This woman clearly is not conscious. She's not alive. And these officers are acting as if this isn't a live woman. A woman that was just yelling, "Water, I can't breathe," is not saying anything. They bring a wheelchair and watch how they put this woman inside this wheelchair. Look at her neck. Her neck is just hanging. Her neck is unsupportive. She is not at this point aware of anything. I believe she lost consciousness when she was inside that police car. So it was a total of 12 minutes that Diamond Ross stayed in the holding cell, and she still wasn't getting any kind of medical attention. No one was talking to her. This woman who was just a few minutes ago asking for water, saying she can't breathe, and no one is even paying attention to her. I did notice, looking at this video around the third time, that officer right there, he does keep looking at her, and they're having a conversation. So the mute is on, and I'm not the one that muted it. I guess whoever posted the video to the Dallas, Texas police page muted the video, so I can't even hear what the officers are saying to one another. But clearly, they are discussing what's going on with this woman. So Diamond is finally taken out of the holding cell, and what upsets me about it is this woman is still handcuffed. She is still handcuffed. So this man is doing something. I don't really even know what that is, but he's doing something. I guess he's trying to wake her up, make her more alert. I'm not sure really what type of technique that is, but he's doing something to her and she still is unresponsive. At this point, I believe they decide to call the paramedics. So the paramedics arrive and they proceed to take Diamond from the wheelchair. However, she is still handcuffed with her hands in the back of her. While she is either deceased at this point or unconscious, she's still handcuffed. And they attempt to perform the chest compressions, but again, she's still handcuffed with her hands in the back. What I do for a living, we do have to perform chest compressions, CPR, mouth to mouth, all that stuff. And we've never done it or was told to ever do it with somebody's hands subdued in the back of them. But they are performing the chest compressions and trying to revive life back into Diamond Ross. The first time I actually saw this video, it was like a nightmare. It was hard for me to watch, so I can only imagine what Diamond was going through. The paramedics did take her to the Baylor University Medical Center, and that's where she was pronounced brain dead, and I believe the next day she was actually dead. And that's what the information that was given to Ross's mother and the rest of her family. Now, Moody was one of the police officers that was on the scene, that was tending to Diamond, or should I say not tending to Diamond, but he would tell supervisors that her last heartbeat was when he had removed her from the vehicle. I mean, how did he figure that out? The fact that she was no longer talking, the fact that she was no longer breathing, that her chest wasn't rising up and down, that was probably a big indicator that this woman was no longer with us. So this is the footage that was held for 1 year. And again, I'll leave the link in the description box if you'd like to see it from the entirety. That was only doctored by the Dallas police and not my little snippets that I'm trying to add here. So this footage was hidden for 1 year. Now, after the footage did come to the public eye, Williams Ortega resigned and he found employment at another police department. And he was actually training when all this had came through. Larry Moody, he was the senior corporal. Corporal Moody was written up and reprimanded. So in other words, he received some stern words on paper. That was his punishment for what had happened. So why didn't they just keep this case hidden? The family was told she passed. The family actually said they was trying to get over her death. And a year later, this would be shown. And the video would go to public because a news station had claimed that they wanted to see it. But instead, the Dallas police would just release it to the public. So I can only imagine how Diamond's mother, Ethelene Ross, felt when she saw her child begging for help, asking for water, saying she can't breathe, and basically being ignored over and over again. Mrs. Ross said she felt her daughter was treated less than human. Her family did not know that this happened to her while she was in police custody. They did not know that their loved one was suffering, and I'm certain they would be mentally and emotionally scarred for life after seeing this. I mean, it was terrible. But so why did things change? Well, the district attorney, John Crizot, he would find a wooden coffin outside of his home on the lawn in Ross's name. And then the case would finally decide to be represented. Ross's family had filed a civil suit. The family's lawyer, Justin Moore, he said he would fight for the family's civil suit. He had little faith in the criminal justice system, and he was right, because no charges were filed again against Moody and Ortega. And the Ross family said that they felt hurt, disrespected, after finding out that these two officers will not face any kind of criminal charges.
And for her to ask for multiple times for water, for help, no one thought to help her throughout that whole process. My aunt could still be here today if y'all gave her that chance, but y'all didn't.
As of 2021, there haven't been any charges against Moody and Ortega. I do believe that they thought that they were following the correct rules, that the fire rescue services was telling them that she was cleared, so they believed that she was cleared. But it still was a lot of negligence on their parts. When they took her out of the car, leaving her on the concrete in the parking lot, when they put her in the holding cell, they just flung her in there. Even putting her in the wheelchair, it looked like her neck was about to snap off. Just not very caring or concerning to me. The women in the video footage, they both seem like they were extremely over-sexualized. The one on the ground by the car, the one in Walmart, and also the one in Walmart. She also seemed like she may have gotten more aggressive had the video continued. Diamond, from what we viewed, didn't seem over-sexualized in the footage that we watched. It was more like she was hallucinating, talking to herself in second person. I did cut out a part where she bumped her head several times on the back of the police car intentionally. Like I said, the video is emotional and tragic. I do hope the Ross family finds some sort of peace. I chose to use the videos of the two black women only because a lot of black people feel different drugs are for different races. For instance, crack was proven by the media most users were black and or African American. Come to find, that wasn't even true. Most users were white, Caucasian. The black people are the ones that were jailed for using it and having possession of it. Like meth, it's not just a Caucasian drug. Blacks and other races do use meth as well. Addiction is addiction. It has nothing to do with your race. It plans to take everyone through it if they're on it. And my condolences to Diamond's family.